Lately, this thought keeps coming back to me, the idea of leaving London to continue my art journey. I know it sounds a little absurd. People usually say that I came to New York to pursue art. I moved to Paris for art. But for me, I keep thinking that leaving London might help me move closer to my own path as an artist. It has been 4 years and a half since I moved to London. Wow. And it's been about a year and a half since I graduated from the MFA at Goldsmiths. That time feels quite important to me. I think I've really cherished this period of working on my own. I can see how my painting has developed. Even though I know I'm still in the process, still a long way to go. I never rented a proper studio. I've just been working in my living room, which probably meant missing some chances to connect with other artists. But at the same time, being in London, I'm constantly surrounded by exhibitions, by people talking about art. I think, in a way, the city has really shaped my work. So, even without trying hard, you're already inside it. And then there is the elephant in the room. You know I'm going to talk about the money, right? Yes, that is the issue. What I earn cannot cover my living costs. Actually, there is a big gap. I've considered working part-time, but I'm not a very energetic person. From my experience, if I work 3 or 4 hours a day, I can basically forget about painting that day, let alone exploring my style quietly and deeply. This is actually the issue a lot of emerging artists facing. When I was about to graduate, the school invited some alumni back to talk about their career paths. One painter who has had solo exhibitions in London, New York, and Seoul said it took her 8 years after graduation to fully support herself through her art. She also based in London. Sometimes I thought, if she lives somewhere else, it might not take her as long as 8 years. Before becoming an art student, I worked full-time for over 10 years. That's enough. So if I ever have a choice, I hope I can find my painting language sooner and to be recognized a bit earlier for what I do. That probably means moving somewhere with lower living costs. If I decide to stay, I need to start preparing for the Global Talent Visa known as GTV. It's a visa designed for artists to live and work in the UK. It requires exhibitions, recommendation letters, media coverage, etc. Well, possible to manage. Some of my classmates are already applying. But it feels like a box you have to tick rather than a choice I fully want. For example, attending exhibitions just for the GTV and attending exhibitions to grow as an artist, the difference between these two has become significant. Another reason why I want to move is that I realized I don't feel very at home in the art scene here. I know the connection is important and I've tried going to more openings and meeting more people. But overall, I don't really fit into London social life. There's a lot of small talk, repeating nearly the same introduction again and again. It's exhausting. And then there's my parents. I'm an only child. It's not something I can just ignore. Every time I go home, I see their hair getting a little whiter. They are still very active, but I can feel their emotional reliance on me. If I move back to China and live closer, they will feel that if anything happens, I will be there. So I guess I've been leaning towards going back to China. Going back to China would be different. Life might be easier in some ways, less pressure, more space to just work. But it's unknown what I would lose. I spent 2 months at home during the Spring Festival this year. At home, my mom took care of me like a princess. Whenever she called out, 吃饭了, come eat, I would just go and sit at the table and start eating. And when I was done, I'd wipe my mouth and leave. That's how she spoiled me. I didn't have to do any chores. I had expected to create a lot, but only finished a small piece and one painting for decorating my room. My creative state didn't feel the same as it does in London. And sometimes when I didn't feel like painting at all, which meant a lack of output, even though I know it's a quite normal fluctuation for artists, I felt like I want to explain why I wasn't working to my parents. But maybe it's not really about my parents, because whenever I'm back in China, I seem to fall into a mode where I feel like I have to be constantly producing. And if I go even a few days without making anything, I start to feel uneasy. But when I'm in London, living alone, I don't need to explain anything. It's just so free. So I'm still thinking about it. Leaving London or stay? No answer yet. I imagine that as time passes, my inclination will become clearer.